Good day, student. I hope everybody is doing well. Good. Today, the main strands that we are going to talk about is number. Our substance is also counting, representation, and cardinality. And that this substance here that we are going to talk about, how to model number quantities up to 1 million and how to model money quantities up to 1 million. Our previous lesson, we did discuss the two basic methods used to model number quantities up to 1 million. Today, we are going to talk about how to model money quantities up to 1 million. We said there are three methods used to model quantities up to 1 million. Two of these methods are used to model number quantities up to 1 million. And one other one is used to model money quantities up to 1 million. So there are three methods. You use two to model number quantities, while the remaining one is used to model money quantities up to 1 million. Multi-base block and graph sheet method are used to model number quantities up to 1 million, while token currency method is used to model money quantities up to 1 million. Good. Make sure that you write the notes. Today's lesson is about how to model money quantities up to 1 million by the use of token currency. Now, under the token currency, we said it earlier on, is one of the methods used to model money quantities up to 1 million. Token currency has several keys used to model money quantities, which include notes. These notes derive their money quantities based on the questions below or based on the question sets, meaning their quantity of money depends on the amount given. The quantity for the first note is very important to the rest of the notes. If an amount ends with no zero, then the minimum notes or CK says or the starter supposed to be 1 Ghana cedi, and that will be the first note, the first currency note that you use to model a number that ends with no zero. The next note will be the 10 times of the first note. So if the first note is 1 Ghana cedi, the next note will be the 10 times the 1 Ghana cedi, and that will be the 10 Ghana cedis. The third note will also be the 10 times of the second note. And the second note, let's assume that one is 10 cedis. So the third note will be the 10 times the 10 cedis. That will be 100 Ghana cedi in that order. If a figure or an amount given end with only 1 0, then a note will be used or will be printed or will be used to represent 10 Ghana cedi. So one note will be a 10 Ghana cedi. That means that your minimum amount or your minimum currency that you'll be using here will be the 10 Ghana cedi. The next currency note or the next note that follow the first note will be the 10 times of the first one. So if the first one is 10 Ghana cedi, then the next one will be 10 times of the 10 Ghana cedi that follow 100 Ghana cedi in that order. If a figure now, if a figure ends with 2 zeros, then a note will be issued out to represent 100 Ghana cedi, and that is the first note. And the second note will be the 10 times of the 100 Ghana cedi in that order. If a figure or an amount issue end with 3 zeros, then a note will be used to represent 1,000 Ghana cedi because the last 3 zeros are 0. That is why we are using 1,000 Ghana cedi to be our minimum currency note that will be used to start modeling the numbers given. Like what I said, we said we are going to use token currency notes to model numbers quantities up to 1 million. To model means to draw a patterns with a certain number. So you are using the currency note paper, the notes to draw or arrange a pattern for a given amount. And if the amount given to you to draw a particular note or draw a pattern for that end with no zero, then your minimum, at least your minimum note start from 1 Ghana cedi. And in that order, the next note will be the 10 times of the 1 Ghana cedi. So 1 Ghana cedi, 10 cedis, 100 cedis, 1,000 Ghana cedi in that order. Then if a figure end with only 1 zero, end with only 1 zero, then your minimum currency note is supposed to be 10 Ghana cedi. The next one will be the 10 times of the 10 Ghana. So 10 Ghana cedi, 100 Ghana cedi, 1,000 Ghana cedi. Then if a figure or an amount given to you end with 2 zeros, which means that your minimum currency notes that you are going to use to model the amount supposed to be 100 Ghana cedi because of the 2 zero end with that particular, then use 100 Ghana cedi. The second note will be the 10 times of the 100 Ghana. So starting from 100 Ghana cedi followed by 1,000 and 10,000. If a figure ends with 3 zeros, your minimum, at least your minimum currency notes supposed to be 1,000 Ghana cedi. The next one will be the 10,000 Ghana cedi, and the third one will also be the 100,000 Ghana cedi and 1 million. Okay, good. Let's solve one more examples under the token currency notes. Example: use token currency to model the money quantity below. What is the money quantity here? The money quantity is the 435 Ghana cedi. You are going to use the currency note to draw a pattern for this amount given here. So let's check the last digit of this currency here, or this amount here. The 435 end with no zero. This after the 0.00, the 0.00 here, they are pesos, so they are not part of the currency here or the quantity of the amount here. The amount here end with only 5. So this 5 here means you are going to start your minimum notes with 1 Ghana cedi. When this side here end with, or this amount here end with 1 zero, then your minimum note will be 10 cedis. When it ends with 2 zeros, then your minimum note will be 100 Ghana cedi in that order. But since our money here end with no zero, 0.00 is not part, okay? Any number that's 0.00 is the same as that number. So here, the amount here end with no zero. It end with 5. So we are going to choose our 1 Ghana cedi to represent the ones. Good. Let's write our solution and start solving these things here. Now you write your illustration. After the illustration, then you choose your currency notes. Good. Because the amount given end with no zero, then our first currency or our minimum isika is chatokra by 1 Ghana cedi. So that will be the first note. The first note will be 1 Ghana cedis. Then the second note will be the 10 times of the first one. So 10 times 1 Ghana cedi will be the 10 Ghana cedi. The third note which will also be the 10 times of the second note. And that will be 100 Ghana cedi. The fourth note will also be the 10 times of the third note. And that will be the 1,000 Ghana cedi here. Now, these are the currency notes that we are going to use to model the numbers. Now, let me write the numbers and start solving. We have the 4, 3, 5. Good. Let me write the positions of these numbers. This number here, because of once it ends with no zero, so this number becomes our least under the ones, and this one to be the next or the immediate, and this one also be our hundreds positions. Okay, so the 5 here occupies a place of ones, and then the tens here occupies the place of tens. The 3 here occupies the place of the tens, and the 4 here occupies the place of 100. Now we are going to write, the reason why we have indicated this is that we are going to write the real value of these numbers. The real value here means what? You multiply the face value by the number, the position where this number is occupied. So the face value times the place value, that will give you the real value. The face value is the number that you see with your naked eye, or the number itself. And the place value is where the number occupies, the position where this number has been placed. So here, looking at the 5 here, this 5 has been placed at the ones positions. So the real value will be the 5, which is the face value, times the place value, which will be the 1. So 5 times 1 will be 5 cedis. That is the real value for the 5 over there. Now, you check the real value for the 3 here. The real value for the 3 here is that the face value is the 3. The position where this 3 occupies is the tens. So 3 times 10 will give you 30 Ghana cedis. Then the 4 here, the real value here is the face value times the place value. This 4 occupies the hundreds positions, and then the real value here is the 4, which is the face value times the place value, which is the 100, and then you get 400 Ghana cedis. Okay. Now, after you have allocated the real values here, now that you are going to allot or apportion or allocate our notes to this amount. When you take the 5 Ghana cedi, then you think about the note that will be much approximate to 5 Ghana cedi. And you know that the 1 cedi is much closer to 5 Ghana cedi than the 10 Ghana cedi. So with the 5 Ghana cedi, we are going to spend, or we are going to utilize the 1 Ghana cedi to model this 5 Ghana cedi. Now, here will be the first note, and the first note is 1 Ghana cedi, because 1 Ghana cedi here is much closer to the 5 Ghana cedi here than any other currency note that we have stated. So 1 Ghana cedi, and then how many 1 Ghana cedi that we are going to spend here. Now, let's choose the currency note for the 30 Ghana cedi. For the 30 Ghana cedi, the currency note that is much closer to the 30 Ghana cedi is the 10 Ghana cedi. 10 Ghana cedi will be much approximate to the 30 than the 100 Ghana cedis. So we choose the 10 Ghana cedis here to model the 30 Ghana cedis. Now we choose a currency note for the 400 Ghana cedi. And the 400 Ghana cedi, the note that will be much appropriate for that is the 100 Ghana cedi. That is much closer to the 400 Ghana cedi than 1000 Ghana cedi. And that one is 100 Ghana cedi. Now, per the 1 Ghana cedi that you are going to choose to model the 5 Ghana cedi, how many times are you going to model, use the 1 Ghana cedi to model the 5 here? It will be the 5 times. Okay, so you write the 5. It will be the 5 times. Okay, good. Then you come to the 30 Ghana cedi. You have chosen the 10 Ghana cedi. How many 10 Ghana cedi are you going to print it out? And that one will be the 3. Okay, that will give us approximate to the 30 Ghana cedi. Then when you come to the other one, the 400 Ghana cedi, we said we are going to use 100 Ghana cedi. How many 100 Ghana cedi that will be needed to model the 400 Ghana cedi? And that one is 4. Okay, good. Now you are going to model the 435 Ghana cedi by using 5 of 1 Ghana cedi, 3 of 10 Ghana cedi, and 4 of 100 Ghana cedi. Good. So let's model the numbers. Now you write on top token currency. And when you are model for the token currency, each currency is supposed to have different color, because 1 Ghana cedi and the 10 Ghana cedis are not in the same colors. So you must choose a color for each currency note that you have taken or allocated to a certain amount that you need to model. Sorry. Now, you first model our 1 Ghana cedi. And the currency notes looks like a rectangular shape. So you draw a rectangular shapes to represent your currency notes. And then you write in, because per the application that I'm using, I can't color the currency, but I can use a shape color to identify all the 1 Ghana cedi. So here will be the 1 Ghana cedi. One Ghana cedi. Good. Now, you say we are going to model for 1 Ghana cedi. Let me model the number before. Let's last one. One Ghana cedi for the 5 notes. Now, per what we choose for 5 Ghana cedi, we have used five of we have used the 5 notes to model the 5 Ghana cedis, and each note is 1 Ghana cedi here. So in all, we have gotten our 5 cedis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now we are going to model the 10 Ghana cedi. You said the 10 Ghana cedi you are going to model for 3. So you are going to choose a different color for that. So 10 Ghana cedi will be 3. That will be the 10 Ghana cedi. So you draw 10 Ghana cedi to model for the 30 Ghana cedi. So you draw 3 times of the 10 Ghana cedi. That will be much closer to or equal to the 30 Ghana cedi. So we are still model this one. But for you, you have to choose a color. Do not use posted colors to draw or to color the currency. You can use the crayons and other pencil colors to do that. Now, I have my maximum of 3 of 10 Ghana cedi, which represent the 30 Ghana cedis here. Then let me check the other notes. The 100 Ghana cedis are 4. So you are going to model the 100 Ghana cedi 4 times. Then you come back, you model the 100 Ghana cedi 4 times. So that one will be 4. Okay. Then you write in the 100 Ghana cedi. 100 Ghana cedi. 100 Ghana cedis. Now you are finished with this one. So on top supposed to be the token currency notes. Notes. Good. Now these are the notes or the currency notes that we have used to model the amount given. So in all, the total amount is 435 Ghana cedi that we have modeled here. That is the 435 Ghana cedi that we have modeled. So you underline it twice. So this is how to use the token currency notes to model a given number. Example, use token currency to model the money quantity below. The money quantity is, the amount is in the money form. That is why this one is 435 Ghana cedi. After then, we said you check the last digit of the money. 0.00 is does not make any impact to the currency. This is just a symbolic that shows that they are in Ghana cedi. So here the 5 year is the last digit of the currency that we have stated here, or the amount that we have stated here. And since the last digit here does not end with the 0, then the minimum currency that we're supposed to use is 1 Ghana cedi here. Then after identify the first or the minimum currency, the next currency is always 10 times of the first one. That is why from the 10 Ghana cedi, you move on to the 10 cedis. From the 10 cedi, you move on to 100 Ghana cedi. For 100 Ghana cedi, you move on to 1,000 Ghana cedi. Supposing say the last digit here end with only 10, then you will start with our first currency note will be the 10 cedi, because when it ends with 10, the first or the minimum amount needed will be what? The 10 Ghana cedis. So these are the materials, the currency note, they are the material that we use to model this amount given here. And then assuming the last two digits here end with 2 zeros, then we would have started with the 100 Ghana cedi, which would be our minimum currency note, not 10 Ghana cedi or not 1 Ghana cedi, but it will rather be 100 Ghana cedi. And we stated in our note that if the last three digits end with a 0, Then our minimum currency note that we're supposed to start with is 1,000 Ghana cedi. Then you follow in that way. The next one will always be the 10 times in that order. So after then, you write your solution and then illustrations. After you have chosen the material that you're going to use, the materials are the notes, okay? After then, the illustration, you indicate the position where these numbers occupies. Then you write the real values for these numbers. The 5, what is the real value for the 5? Before you can get the real value for the 5, you use the face value. The face value is always the number itself, multiplied by the place where that particular number occupies. So this 5 here occupies the ones position. The ones means 1. So 5 times 1 will give you the 5 cedis. When you come to the real value for this number here, this number, the face value is the 3. The real value is the face value times the place value. This 3 here occupies the positions of the things. Therefore, the 3 times 10 will give you 30. That is why we got the 30 here. Now, the 4 here is the face value here. And the place value is where the 4 occupies. It occupies the hundreds positions. So the real value here is the 4 times the place where the number occupies, which is the 100. So multiply by the 4 will give you the 400 Ghana cedi. Good. Now we have gotten our values here, which is the 530 and then 400. Then you come to the currency note that you derive. You are going to use this material. So when you take the 5 cedi, then you move on, you move straight to your materials here. Then you check the material that will be much closer to the 5 Ghana cedi. When you check, we have the 1 cedi, 10 cedi, 100 Ghana cedi, 1,000. So which means that 1 cedi will be choosing for the 5 cedis. And for how many times are you going to use it to model the 5 cedis? The 5 times. Then when you come to the 30 cedis, when you check, you could see that the 10 cedis here is much approximate to the 30 Ghana cedi, or is closer to that than the 100 Ghana cedi and the 1 cedi and the 1,000 Ghana cedi. So then when you choose the 10 Ghana cedi, then you decide how many materials, the 10 Ghana cedi, how many 10 Ghana cedi that will be needed before you can model the 30 Ghana cedi, which is the 3 10 Ghana cedi that will be used. That is why we're able to establish that the 3 times 10 here will give us 30. Now the last one here, that is 400 Ghana cedi. Then you check your material, the one that is much approximate or closer to that. And this one is 100 Ghana cedi, much closer to 400 Ghana cedi than choosing the 1,000 or the 10 cedis. So here, how many 100 Ghana cedi that will be needed before you can model the 400? And you say 4. So when you come to the currency notes here, the token currency is you draw the currency to draw as a pattern to represent the amount given, which was the 435 Ghana cedis. So how many 1 Ghana cedi are you going to draw? We draw 5, which represent the 5 cedis. And then how many currency are you going to model for the 10 Ghana cedi? You draw 3, which represent the 30 Ghana cedis. And then the 100 Ghana cedi, how many 100 Ghana cedi that you are going to draw? You draw what? Draw the 4 of it, which represent the 400 Ghana cedi. So after you have taken care of the modeling, then you write the total amount that you use this pattern to represent. So these are the procedure that we use to draw or model money quantities by using the token currency method. Okay, good. Make sure that you write the notes. Thank you. Bye.